Hello everyone and welcome to Action RPG Build Guide Edition. Today I'm ready to drop on you my brand new Lightning Wolf Pack Beastmaster. I've been working on this for 6 months and it is finally ready. As always, I will cover every single facet of the build. Everything is timestamped in the description below if you need to bounce around. Let's not waste any time and jump right into this. Starting off with some gameplay. And as you can see, our wolves are a different color. That is because these are lightning retaliation wolves. They are charged with lightning, which means they make a ton of storm bolts. We are also using 2 Tempest Moss axes, which will generate 8 additional lightning minions when we cast a totem. Now, we are not using a totem for this build, so how we get around this is our Warcry is spec'd into Warcry totem, which actually works great for the build anyways, so that is how you will generate your additional minions. Now, even though we are using wolves and wolves are buffed based upon strength, what we really care about is storm bolt damage. So for this build, you want to stack as much attunement as you could possibly get. So just remember that strength is still great, but attunement is what you really want to put on your gear. Now, when we leap, our wolves will leap with us, so you're always going to have them close by. You will also generate storm bolts every single time you click Howl. So when you when you hit Howl and buff your wolves, you will also expend all of the storm stacks that you have, and your storm stacks are maintained through your wolves hits. This will make more sense when I break down the skills, but ultimately there is a node that as long as you have a singular stack of storm bolt, you will be able, or storm stacks, your wolves when they hit will continue to generate stacks for you, and then when you hit Howl, it'll expend all of those stacks. Now, we are also spec'd into our storm bolts are going to do way more damage based upon our mana. So your mana is always going to be low because we are using mana to buff our storm stacks. So we have a lot of mana leech, and you will get leech when you are attacking and hitting enemies. So pushing corruption right now. Let me show you a boss fight. Jump out of there, Shade of Werebear. And bam. Look at that damage. All right, don't stand in the void. Quarter life gone. You'll notice we have not lost a single wolf. And back in. And as you melee attack, you will be generating lots of mana. So if your mana is fully depleted, it just means you're not hitting enough enemies. 35. All right, get out of the void. And take them down. 20. 15. 10. You, sir, are dead. Let me show you how to recreate this build. So now let's break down the skills for our Lightning Wolves, starting with Fury Leap. And what we're going to do is go bottom left first. What you want is 5 into Warrior's Entrance, 1 into Frenzied Onslaught, 3 into Winged Endurance, 1 into Battle Bloom. Then you want to take Pack Leader. This makes it with when you leap, your wolves leap with you, so they're always very close, trying to keep you alive. You then want to come down here, 5 into Panther Strike, 1 into Protection, so you're immune while leaping, 4 into Crater, and then 1 into Lagon's Wrath, so that you do cast Storm Bolts while you leap, just to keep everything synergized and give you a little bit of damage. Moving over to our main skill, which is of course Summon Wolf. And what you want to do is come to the left first. 4 into Savage Hunters, 3 into Tundra Stalkers, 1 into Winterborn, 1 into Pack Leader. This gives you 1 maximum wolf and 1 to your maximum companion. You then want to come to the right and get Stormborn, Stormbolt Retaliation Chance, and Stormbolts on Hit Chance, so that those wolves are just casting lots and lots of bolts. You want 1 point into Legendary Bite. Then you want to come down 2 into Endurance, 1 into Stormcaller, 5 into Cloud Runners, and 1 into Shaman Bond. These are your Lightning Wolves, and we'll get to the gear, how it all synergizes together. Moving over to Maelstrom, you want to come up and over here first. 4 into Whirlpool, 1 into Turbulence, 2 into Calm, 1 into Windswept, and 1 into Wind Fury. This is going to make it where you're frenzied and haste the entire time. You then want to come to the right, 3 into Sleet Footed, 1 into Cyclone, because you want to change that chill chance into slow chance, which is going to work great with your gear as well. I will explain. 1 into Power of the Storm, 2 into Strong Tides. This makes it where you'll be able to make Storm Bolts and when you only have 4 stacks of Maelstrom, and Warcry is going to give you those 4 stacks. You're then going to come down 2 into Arctic Chill and 3 into Healing Winds, so you are constantly healing while you have your Maelstrom up. Moving over to our big damage dealer, and that is Gathering Storm. Now, the swipe of Gathering Storm doesn't do a lot of damage, but this is going to super your Storm Bolts. What you want to do is come to the left first. 1 into Looming Clouds, 4 into Concentrated Storm. This is going to give you multiplicative damage for your Storm Bolts. You then want to come down 2 into Gathering Storm, 1 into Lightning Gale, and 2 into Whirlwind Tactics. This makes it that when you hit Howl on your wolves, you're going to release all your storm stacks that your wolves are giving you over and over and over again, and it is a good source of damage. You then want to come to the right, 3 into Wind Fury Blows, 2 into Thunderous Strikes, 1 into Excited Bolts. We then have 4 into Friends of the Tempest. This is where, again, they're going to give you all your Storm Bolts, your wolves. And then 1 point right in here into Mana Fuse Storm. Now, this node, Excited Bolts, you are going to be low on mana the entire time. That is because you, again, are supercharging your Storm Bolts, but it is charging you mana. So what you want to do is you are going to need some cases of mana regen, and you're going to get some of that right here from Mana Fuse Storm. Last but not least, we are going over to Warcry. And what you want to do first is come to the right here. You want 1 into Staggering Roar, 1 into Kinetic Scream, 1 into Howl, 1 into Shallow Breath, and 1 into Titanic Heart, because you do want your Warcry to be a totem. Needs to be a totem. You're then going to come down here, 1 into Juggernaut, 3 into Breath of Atera, 1 into Purging Shout, 4 into Whirlpool. Again, this is going to give you 4 stacks of Maelstrom, which is going to synergize perfectly right here with your Power of the Storm. You then want to come to the left, 2 into Deep Roar, 1 into Wrath, 2 into Frostclaw, and 1 into Bringer of Winter. And know that these are going to work for yourself and your minions. Those are the skills. Moving over to the passive, starting with the base Primalist tree. You want 8 into Natural Attunement, 1 into Primal Strength, 1 into Harmony of Blades. This is going to allow you to dual wield. 5 into Hunter's Restoration, 4 into Survival of the Pack, 1 into Hunter's Emanation. So your Hunter's Restoration also works for your minions. And 5 into Berserker. Now, I just recently added Berserker. As I've pushed Corruption, I want as much damage reduction as possible. And this is going to give you 20% at low life. Moving over to Beastmaster. 8 into Yersin Strength, 4 into Boar Heart, 5 into Porcupine Constitution. Again, added damage reduction with Aspect of the Boar, an absolute must on any Primalist build. We are then coming down here, 1 into Savagery, 1 into Ambush, 1 into Rending Maw, 1 into Hunters of the Deep, 1 into Teeth, and this is going to give Aspect of the Shark to your wolves, which is great. 8 into the Chase, 2 into Boar Heart, which is going to help you proc Aspect of the Boar when you attack with your melee attacks. 1 into Life in the Wilderness. This is going to apply your endurance to your companions. That's going to make them more tanky. 3 into Cry of the Lynx. 6 into Serrated Claws, so that another aspect is now boosting your companions. 1 into Natural Embrace for an extra wolf. And then right now I am putting 10 points into Viper Fangs. I'm currently level 96, so my final 4 points are going to go right here. Moving over to Shaman, 8 into Infusion, Attunement, and Penetration for you and your minions. 5 into Sky Warrior, which is going to give you cooldown recovery for your Fury Leap and some damage. 5 into Tempest Form. This is going to give you mana gained on your Gathering Storm hit. So remember, you're getting mana gain on Gathering Storm and in Tempest Form. This is how, when you are attacking, you're going to keep your mana positive so that you can cast more Storm Bolts. 2 into Stormbringer. 5 into Avatar of the Thunder. This is going to give you base minion and spell lightning damage, which again boosts your Storm Bolts. Then our final 10 points, 5 into Plating, Endurance, and Armor, and give your minions 300 armor. And then 5 right here into Prowess. We are using Attunement and Strength for our wolves, so this is just a perfect bonus. Those are the passives. Moving over to last Epoch tools, where we're going to break down idols, blessings, and gear, starting with idols. Now, idols are very simple. There's only 2 you want to look for. You want a large nomad. This is going to be increased life and increased minion lightning critical strike chance and lightning critical strike chance for yourself. You want 4 of those, and then an additional 4 life idol. And that can roll 530. Some of the best idols you can get in the game. This will give you a ton of health. Right now on this build planner, we have 3,800 life, which is awesome. Looking at blessings, we have void resistance, mana, all resistance, endurance, physical resistance. Now, the endurance blessing here, you don't have to take endurance. If you have another way to get your 60% endurance, you could take minion damage. So this one is interchangeable. Moving over to our equipment, this build has more uniques than any build I've ever made. We are currently using 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 uniques. And the main unique you want is Howl of the West Wind Helmet. This is going to be 30% chance for your wolves to retaliate with lightning strikes when hit, and it is going to take your melee lightning damage and buff your wolves. Very cheap to get, and if you are MG, it's almost free if you can get a couple with legendary potential. Awesome helmet. And on here, you want to roll plus to wolves. That is the important affix. Moving over to your weapons, we are using Tempest Maw. And on here, what you want is minion lightning penetration and minion melee / minion spell. Those are the 2 affixes you want on your Tempest Maw. We are currently using the Claw. The Claw allows you to summon wolves up to your maximum companion, and it's going to give them melee physical damage for your minions and some health. And on here, you want to roll double minion on it. For our chest, we're using Woven Flesh. This is going to give you health. This is going to give you crit avoidance. It's going to give you leech. And again, it is easy to get with legendary potential. This is going to help keep you alive. We are using Ribbons of Blood. This is going to be keep your wolves alive. So this is going to give your minions leech, and your minions cannot be crit. Very important unique because you don't want to have to be reviving your wolves all the time. And the last one, and this is the Weaver's dedication of the Erased Primalist. Now on here, this does a lot for your minions. 1, it gives you minion health, less damage taken from slowed enemies, and our Maelstrom is going to slow enemies, and chance on hit to grant one of your minions aspect of the spider. So all those other aspects you have, now you are adding aspect of the spider, which is aspect of the spider lasts 8 seconds and grants 15% more damage to slowed enemies, multiplicative, and 100% chance to slow on hit. It cannot stack, and this goes on your wolves. So those are the uniques for our ring, attunement, mana regen, belt, minion damage, mana regen, boots, attunement, hybrid health, and gloves, attunement, minion damage, hybrid health. That is the gear, idols, and blessings. Now let's talk leveling. Aaron, this is great, but how do I get from level 1 to level 96 like you're at right now? I will show you. Now, when I am playing Primalist, it doesn't matter if it's a Beastmaster, Shaman, or Druid, I level it the exact same every single time. I put an unspec'd Fury Leap on my bar, so you have a movement skill without having to actually spec into it, and we use Swipe, and we love Swipe. And all we do is come here and take really these 3 notes. This is going to give you hit damage and leech to keep you alive. This is going to give you added multiplicative damage and AoE. And then right here, it's going to give you kill threshold at 14%. So you're just killing the enemies quicker and you don't have to take their life all the way down, which is awesome even for bosses. Swipe is going to be your main damage dealer. Now, you have a couple of options. You can go into Maelstrom if you just want an AoE around you to get some haste and frenzy, or you can take Warcry. Now, I personally like taking Warcry, and I like coming down here and getting Berserk, and then getting this node, Fury Strikes, which is going to allow you to attack a lot quicker. So you are using Swipe, you are using Berserk, and as you progress a little bit through the campaign, if you want, you could take Warcry, and then you could snag Whirlpool, so that you are now casting Maelstroms as well. So you've got an unspec'd Fury Leap on your bar, and you are using Swipe, Warcry, and Maelstrom. You will absolutely fly through the campaign. All right, everyone, that's the build guide. What do you think of my Lightning Wolfpack Beastmasters? Or anything I missed? Is there anything I can do to take this to the next level? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Couple asks at the end. 1, I'm hoping today is the day I've earned your subscription. I'm hoping today is the day you make the decision to push that red button. Of course, only if you think I've earned it, but it really does help the channel a lot. 2, check out my Patreon. It really is the best way to support into the future. We've got movie night, game night, exclusive content, VIP lounge, end screen. First link in the description. Check out Patreon. And lastly, we are approaching 4,000 members on the Action RPG Discord. We have a new community event coming up for Cycle 2. We'll be running another treasure hunt. We've got lots of voice channels. We cover all things Action RPG. Check it out. It's in the description. I'm done. Hopefully you're entertained or at least learned something. Aaron, out.